everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is called Mountain Climbing. What are you overcoming? And I want you to go ahead and focus in on the thumbnail in front of you. And if you're feeling thumbnail number 1, that would be the pink mountain landscape or pink sunrise mountains. You'll choose pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the blue Twilight Mountains, the mountains at dusk, the blue Twilight Mountains for pile number 2. And then for pile number 3, we have the white Daylight Mountains or the white Daylight Goats Mountain pile for pile number 3. So take a deep breath. And if it helps you to think in color, you can think pink mountains, pile number 1, blue mountains, pile number 2, and pile number 3, white mountains, okay? So take a deep and cleansing breath, anchor into the energy, and we will look at, for my little mountain climbers, today we will look at what challenges you are currently overcoming and if Spirit has any advice on that. Let's go ahead and begin the reading. All right. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the pink Sunrise Mountains, and today's reading is all about mountain climbing and where you're overcoming challenges in your life right now. Pile number 1, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into your reading. Let's take a deep breath. Pile number 1, I know the day can be stressful and long and tiring, so it's nice to be present in the moment. Take a deep breath and see for the pink Sunrise Mountains. For pile number 1, Spirit, what are they overcoming? What challenges are they overcoming? For pile number 1, please. And what words of wisdom do you have regarding these challenges? Okay, let's see for the pink Sunrise Mountains. Okay, we've got the 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. That doesn't surprise me as far as having the heart of a champion and being strong, okay? But sometimes it can, feel like lonely being the strong one all the time or being the one who has to fight for things all the time. And we can start to resent other people or resent the people around us or feel tired of fighting sometimes for the things that we want in life, okay? And I get it, and sometimes it can make us angry because it's like, why isn't anybody else helping? So I feel you, pile number 1, for those of you who are in that type of energy. We have the Death card, something needs to change. We've got the 5 of Wands, okay? And we've got the 8 of Wands, needing to get the hell away from a group of people or a situation that's become very, like it's made you feel very dead inside, and it's made you feel like just getting the hell out of there. It's like some days, I swear, I just want to hop in my car and leave, or I just want to hop on my motorcycle and go, or I just want to, like, I don't care anymore. I'm like over it, okay? And I'm done. I don't even care anymore. Yeah, Judgment card. I don't even care anymore. All right, burn it all down for all that I care, okay? But I also feel like your spirit is lifting and your spirit is soaring. Pile number 1, okay? And you're in a really powerful moment right now, pile number 1, where your life is seriously about to gain a lot of traction and a lot of speed. And it feels like maybe like doing everything in slow motion in the past, and everything is taking a really long time, probably because you don't have the cooperation of other people, or you just feel very, like it's like going through the motions, but just feeling dead inside. And perhaps some of you have been going through those feelings. And the Judgment card is about a revival of the spirit. It's about a revival of the soul and a revival of the spirit. And it is about awakening and waking up. And your guys' pile was the Sunrise Mountains, the pink Sunrise Mountains. So it is about awakening and waking up to something. Okay, even if it's just, I gotta get out of here. I need a breather, I need a break. Okay, and we have here, medium, you are a doorway to the spiritual world with the Death card. Wow, okay, interesting. Not everybody can handle your observations though, pile number one. I'm sure you know that. We have unplug. Yeah, it's what I've been talking about this whole time. Unplug, disconnect, and take a break from electronics, or take a break from, you know, fighting online, internet battles, from your computer, from working all the time on your computer. Unplug and take a break, because I kind of feel like, you know, you guys are like, just come and get me when this shit is over. Like, I don't even care anymore, okay? And, you know, like, you guys are like, because you feel, you pick up on energy very, very easily with this Death card right here. You guys are mediums into the spiritual world, and because you are very sensitive, being around this disruptive Five of Wands energy, yep. We have bad habits, face your challenge, and kick the habit. This will raise your vibration. And for some of you, it's about getting away from home or getting away from where you live. Or it's about getting away from a certain group of people. And I'm also seeing drinking here. I see something in her hands. So perhaps some of you are wanting to quit drinking, vaping, or smoking. But to get out of that, those bad habits, you need to change up your scenery. And I feel like you guys are conquering bad habits, because it's like, I can't do it anymore. I know it's a bad habit. I know it's not good for me. I know I shouldn't like keep doing this to myself, but I can't help it. Okay. But Spirit is saying the best way to kind of shake you out of that is to put yourself in a different environment, or to like leave. If you're hanging out with a group of people and all they do is bring you down, all they do is, you know, if you're like constantly at home online all the time, if you're like tired and exhausted and you need to unplug from things, and because you're tired and exhausted, you're finding yourself, well, I guess I'll have this extra glass of wine, or I guess I'll have this extra beer, or you find yourself, you started vaping again because you're bored around certain people and they're just so toxic that it's like you need to keep doing that just to kind of put up with this situation. Okay, but some bad habits definitely need to like die. And I feel like you guys are like, yeah, bring it on, you know. And sometimes judgment is like a very harsh awakening where it's like, okay, if I don't change these habits, if I don't do something new here, then I could have, you know, health consequences in the future. I could have, like eventually if you keep, doing bad habits, they add up over time. And sometimes we need that moment when we're faced with our own, like, what's the word? Our own mortality with the Death card, where we're like, okay, yeah, that isn't going to work for me anymore. I need to get out of this situation. We have work on crown, work on your crown chakra, work on your connection to your, work on like your spiritual awakening and your connection to your spiritual awakening. And to work on our crown chakra, we do need to be free of, you know, stimulants. Okay, and for some of you that may be like drinking way too much coffee and you know you're going way overboard on it with the Death card, like the Death card, scorpionic energy. It can be like somebody who loves a lot of coffee or a lot of black coffee, and it's like overstimulated, but perhaps you're exhausted, so it's a vicious circle, pile number one. I know how that is, but I also feel like Spirit is saying work on your crown chakra, which might mean like a head massage or giving yourself a head massage. Or it might mean like meditating and relaxing in silence. Or it might be calming your nervous system down. Okay? And there's some bad habits definitely that you guys are working on overcoming, and even some health stuff, I feel, for you, pile number one, that you're wanting to do everything that you can, even if it means changing your entire environment so that you can kick some of these bad habits. And for some of you, you may have a habit of getting involved in people's business or getting involved in fights that and even hanging out with certain people or getting involved in certain conversations. I feel like you guys are like, oh my God, I need to, cut those people off, or I need to stop listening to that, or I need to stop listening to things that make me purposely agitated or mad. 5 of Wands energy, because it is disturbing my peace. We have the 7th house of relating. Okay, and perhaps you guys haven't really even been able, it's like I can't really relate to people too well because I've been in such a bad mood. Like I can't really, like when you're in a really cranky mood, it's hard to just have small talk or relate with people, and the Death card is with the house of relating is about, it could be about the loss of a best friend, a marriage, a companionship, something that really shook your equilibrium a lot, okay? And I also feel like perhaps you have a bad habit of either jumping into relationships too quickly, or you have a bad habit of just ending shit without the first sign of conflict, you just end something right away, okay? And so I feel like you guys are also wanting to address some bad habits around your relationships as well. Getting involved with people that make your blood boil, that you can't trust, and that really put you in a bad mood or put you in a dark place, okay? And just wanting to get rid of that energy and move on from it, which is, I feel, what you guys are doing. We have forgive self, accept what has happened, and give yourself the grace to make mistakes. Yeah, if you're like, oh, I shouldn't have let that person drag me under like that. I shouldn't have let that person destroy me. I shouldn't have I shouldn't have gotten involved in that fight with that person. I shouldn't have let them throw me off balance like that. Okay? And, and sometimes we develop bad habits because of grief, or because of the loss of a partnership, or because of the loss of something that we really care about. And for those of you that have cat or you have a pet, I feel like your pet can read your energy very, very well and tell when you're not happy. And it's almost like your pet psychically picks up on you and gets in the same mood as you're in. And if you're in a very serious kind of dark gray cloud funk kind of energy, your cat or your dog or your pet also gets in that energy as well too. And some of you may have a pet that's very sensitive to noises, and you swear they can tell when there's a ghost in the room, and you swear that you can see the hair rise on them when something spooky is going on. And and maybe some of you here, you felt like hell. Natalie, I felt like I was cursed in relationships for a really long time, okay? And now I'm starting to see, Judgment card, I'm starting to wake up and see a lot of it was my bad habits, or a lot of it was my habitual way of needing to win a fight, or needing to come out on top of things, or needing to put myself in the worst situation possible to see if I'll survive. Now, this is a lot of stuff I'm throwing at you here, pile number one. So for those of you that have been in that very dark place, especially when it comes to relationships or getting to know people, friendships, romantic relationships, etc., and it feels like there's just like a lot of destruction with the death card there and this aspect of your life, like something is definitely changing in that area. And you know, it's like, I just don't want to have to, like, I don't want to develop bad habits that I now visit upon myself that affect my health because I'm in a bad mental state in a bad relationship. You know, so I feel some of you are really facing this issue and you're realizing the importance of shaking it up and getting out of your routine and looking at a situation with new eyes and realizing that something has to change and that you truly do want to get away from a situation. We have Raven and confidence. I love that. Okay. And you are encouraged to disconnect from the physical or materialistic plan and move into the spiritual realm. Okay. You are on the brink of transformation, death card, and your divine purpose may be revealing itself. Have confidence. Okay. And I love, like, you know, the dark hair and the dark raven hair, the black hair. I'm seeing the long black hair here and the brown eyes and like definitely that witchy energy coming through here, pile number one and pile number one. And the confidence to like look at your past and forgive yourself from what's transpired and unplug from situations, and the confidence to leave a bad partner, pile number one. For those of you, seventh house of relating with the death card, and you feel you got a special message from your pet or your cat or your dog that told you, hey, get away from this fucker, you know? Like, I want to compliment you guys too. For those of you that have left a bad situation or left a situation behind that was really bad for your mental health and caused you to pick up some bad habits or re-engage with some bad habits, I want you to, like, for those of you that have left partnerships like that, I just want to like give you a huge high five, pile number one, because it takes a lot of confidence to leave something behind, face kind of our own issues in it, forgive ourselves for what happened, and move forward. Like, that takes a lot of confidence to be willing to do that. Okay. And sometimes, like, when we're dealing with this like darker energy with the death card and ravens and all of that, we can't always fix our reputation either. Like, some people may not see us as the good guy, or some people may have a bad opinion of us because of the way we left a situation. But I actually think it shows confidence to know when to go, you know, like to actually just, you know, Eight of Wands, put yourself on that path and move forward. Like, that shows a lot of confidence. We have opportunity. Doors are opening up for you. You have the chance to change jobs, start a business, or invest in a new venture. Just do it. Yeah, I love that. And the Judgment card for me as a reader is a card of your life path is changing, or your job is changing. Okay. And this raven is looking at this crown chakra. Some of you who are mediums and work with the spirit world, your calling is here. And it's time to raise your hands to the sky and accept it joyfully. Okay. Because new doors are opening for you. And we have here shedding. Yeah, snake energy. Absolutely. You are starting to outgrow your work situation. It doesn't have to be work. It could be anything. Like, you have outgrown something, a way of relating to people, a way of not bringing your whole self to a situation. Okay. You've hiding yourself. Okay. The death card. You're starting to outgrow something. You need to set higher goals and standards. You will work well in healing and medicine. Absolutely. And this Judgment card, like healing, medicine, acupuncture, you know, energy work, healing work, Reiki, confidence in your connection to the divine, you know, shedding an old skin that you've outgrown. You know what? I've outgrown this shit and I need to purge this from my life. I need to do a detox. I need to do colonics or cleanse or detox, okay? Like it's time to shed the old identity, the death card. It's time to awaken to a new purpose, okay? And it's time to open the door to something new because you are shedding a skin. We have community. Wow, yes. And I feel some of the situations within the past were blocking you from finding a sense of community. And here you are flying into this new community. And there's so many people who are like you, who want to welcome you into this community. And it may not feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about community, but maybe sometimes you feel like you don't belong or you're not welcomed. I do think like you are going to find a community that is like happy to see you there, okay? And for some of you, this could be about, because I mentioned friendships earlier, about having to leave some broken friendships behind with people. This is about opening up to a new community as well and finding a new community. Shock of the new. Wow. And that's the Judgment card, isn't it? The shock of the new. And it goes so fast. That's the thing. Like once you decide and you're on the road and you're on your way, things start happening really, really quickly. And that can feel kind of crazy with the shock of the new. Okay. And it's like, whoa, I was not expecting that. Okay. So definitely, like once you move away from this situation or get on from this situation, it's like, whoa, things really pick up speed. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea it was going to be like that. And we have here Scorpio. Yeah. And you guys have scorpionic energy all over your reading, honestly. Okay. And shock of the new. All right. And transformation, shedding of the skin, snake energy. I mean, that's all scorpionic energy. And yeah, it is time for a new beginning. And it is hard with scorpionic energy sometimes, like change, it can be challenging. Scorpio is a fixed sign. And, you know, we can get set in our ways and fixed in our ways and fixed in our bad habits. Okay. And, you know, Spirit is just wanting to say, congratulate you for dealing with these changes you've been going through, because I feel some of them have been kind of betrayals and painful. Okay. And you're forgiving yourself. You are in the process of forgiving yourself, or you already have. And you're like, no, I get it. I know what I need to change and I know what I need to do. It's just, it's really deep and it's shaken me to the core, but I get it. Okay. So pile number 1, that is what I am getting you for your reading, my loves. I hope that reading resonated for you. And I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments about the reading. Thank you so much, pile number 1, and take care. Let's move on to pile number 2. Okay. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. Hello, my mountain climbers. You have chosen the blue Twilight Mountains, and we are going to go ahead and get into it and find out what you are overcoming right now in your life and what advice Spirit has for you. So welcome in pile number 2 to the blue Twilight Mountain energy. I'm just picturing you guys standing at the top of a grassy mountain cliff with beautiful stars in the sky, the wind swirling around you in your hair, and stars lighting up the sky and the blues everywhere, okay? Beautiful energy. Let's go ahead and see. Pile number 2, mountain climbing. What are you overcoming? What is pile number 2 overcoming? And you know, your guys' image was really about finding peace, okay? Finding inner peace and serenity, all right? And being okay with what is. Let's see what we have here for pile number 2 for my mountain climbers and pile number 2. And like the grassy mountains and stuff, it's kind of giving me like Scotland, UK. It's kind of giving me like Europe vibes. Okay, so maybe some of you like Ireland, like it's giving me Europe vibes for sure. But let's see here. What is pile number 2? For pile number 2, please. What are you? Oh, 3 of Swords, yeah. Okay. That wasn't the 3 of Swords, that was the 3 of Spears. That was the 3 of Wands. Sorry, pile number 2. You're like, 3 of Swords? No. Okay, but that's a good thing to overcome too if the 3 of Swords comes up. But that was not the 3 of Swords. That was the 3 of Wands. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, pile number 2. Hello. There is the 3 of Swords. What I saw on the bottom of the deck, what I saw was the 3 of Wands. Isn't that funny? Isn't that so funny when that happens? I was not expecting to see that out of a deck of 78 cards. I was not expecting to see that because what I saw was the 3 of Wands, okay? So, whoa, let's see here. Let's see. And we've got the 4 of Cups, okay? We've got the Page of Swords. We've got the Knight of Coins, or the Knight of Pentacles, and we've got the 10 of Wands, okay? The right help showing up at the right time when everything feels hopeless. And for some of you, what you're overcoming is even deeper than what I can even describe in this reading, because I feel like it really goes deep to an emotional level. And I feel some of you may get into like, what I'm getting, pile number 2, is I'm getting, for those of you coming to this reading who've suffered with PTSD and trauma, I'm just getting something about that, okay? And I'm getting about going into like fight or freeze responses. And how, like, you know, we jump easily and we scare easily, and our nervous system gets really hijacked, and we're always like afraid of like bad news coming our way. And sometimes we just want to go like hide in a safe little cubby hole, 4 of Cups, because we know like what's out there in the world. And it's sometimes hard to know. You know, sometimes we just want to hide in our safe little cubby hole, and we don't really I don't say that we don't want to face the truth, but sometimes that happens. It can be really hard. Like sometimes we're just in that. I'm getting the name Tina right now. I'm seeing it on this card right here, like scrying it. I can see it. Tina. I also see the name Julia and Tina. Okay, so I just have to say that. And for some of you, like the things that fuck with your mind, I'm also seeing T and the number 9. T and the number 9, T9. Okay, the things that, I'm also seeing Frank and the number 5. Okay, I just have to tell you guys what I'm seeing. Sorry to keep interrupting. But, you know, this whole thing of feeling unsafe with the 4 of Cups, okay, and is something that I feel that some of you in this pile watching this reading, like you have dealt with that feeling of feeling very unsafe, and that there's like always danger lurking behind every little corner. And so maybe even sometimes it's hard to go out, or you struggle with anxiety. Okay, I just want to say I see you, pile number 2. Okay, and you know, some days with this Knight of Pentacles, just getting up and showing up to do the task, even when we're tired, is really hard to do when all we feel like we want to do is kind of hide away in our safe little cubby hole, you know? And let's see what else we've got going on here. Let's see. We've got clairvoyance. Intuitively receive information in the form of words, colors, symbols, or image. Okay, and I feel like that's what you guys do, but I feel like sometimes it can be very overwhelming mentally, because you do get a lot. You are very sensitive, more than you even say. I feel like you guys don't even say all the intuitive hits that you're getting sometimes. Like you don't always even share it. And it's in the silence where you can really hear yourself think and be with yourself intuitively that you feel the messages starting to come through. We have enemy, stop punishing yourself. Okay? And I feel some of you could have had, when you were growing up, had a very bad person that made you feel really bad about yourself or made you feel really scared. And this person was definitely an enemy and someone that made you feel very small and alone. Okay? And the thing is intuitively, I think you picked up on this person a long time ago. And they tried to come across like they were going to help you, but I feel like you knew all along that they were bad. Okay, pile number 2, I just have to say that. And maybe like your sensitivity, you've been like, God, this sensitivity has been with me my whole life, Natalie. And it's like your sensitivity is not your enemy, okay? There's definitely a person here with this Page of Swords who was definitely an enemy and someone that I feel could have really hurt your spirit in a lot of ways, pile number 2, okay? And we're not going to spend the whole reading talking about this, because I feel like we're talking about overcoming and dealing with the burdens that we've had in life and the ability to consistently pursue a path that takes hard work and effort but is so worth it. Okay, Knight of Coins and Ten of Wands. We have challenges. Do you know how special you are? The universe knows. Okay, you guys, no matter, you're always willing to help others, and when you see someone struggling, it gets you right in your heart. And I feel some of you have been struggling, like maybe money-wise, work-wise, okay? And perhaps sometimes you can't always work, or you're not able to always work all the time because you have emotional things that you're dealing with. And so some days work can feel very heavy and very exhausting, okay? And I feel like you guys are always people that you have a really good work ethic, and you're very like determined, and you're very good and reliable and all of that. But there are days that you just don't, you're just overwhelmed with everything. Okay, and you had to deal with a lot of challenges, pile number 2, even since you were a child. Some of you had to grow up really quickly and take on a lot of responsibility that was not yours to take on. And you showed incredible fortitude and discipline in your path in life, okay? You show a steady, controlled hand that knows how to discipline yourself in order to get the job done, okay? And you've been intuitive since you were like a child, I feel. And you guys have been picking up on the emotions of people around you since you were very young, all right? And maybe there you blame yourself. Even as a child, you blamed yourself for not being able to stop someone or stop something from happening. And it's like, no, stop punishing yourself, okay? And you grew up with so many challenges. I feel pile number 2, so many hard challenges. But Spirit is so proud of you, because I feel like with this Knight of Pentacles and this 10 of Wands, you've been climbing mountains your whole life. You've been facing challenges and climbing mountains your entire life. And it's not just even one person that broke your heart, it's multiple people with this 3 of Swords that broke your heart. So it's not even just one person. All right. And Spirit just wants you to know how special you are. The universe knows. Oh, wow. Yeah, we have work on heart chakra. All right. And of course, we have the 3 of Swords with the 3 swords piercing the heart. And the heart chakra is coming up because it is very disappointing and very like disheartening. And it can feel like every day can kind of start to feel miserable or feel like the same thing, or we can feel like we're just kind of dragging ourselves around every day and our heart is still like very heavy. But I feel like you guys show up, you know, and maybe like I feel some of you in this pile, you could even be workaholics, or you could even be like pushing yourself to the limit too much at times, where you know, because there's a lot of pain in your heart, or because there's a lot of things you've gone through emotionally, it's easy to block that stuff out by just staying busy and like overworking yourself, pile number 2. And I can relate so much to your reading, pile number 2. Honestly, I can. I really, really can. But Spirit is saying like you've been putting in so much effort to work on your healing and to consistently show up to work on your emotional healing. Okay, and that's really what Spirit wants to highlight here. We have Capricorn energy coming up in this reading. Okay, and Capricorn energy is all about mountain climbing in general. Because Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn, obviously, I mean, the goat, Capricorn, the goat, and the mountain climbing. So again, you know, very competent and prepared, wise and enduring, being like an old soul when you were younger, being someone that is a good person to go to for advice, okay? Being very down to earth and disciplined with what you're doing, okay? And you've really grown into your energy, and I feel like you've worked really hard to discipline your clairvoyance and to discipline your intuitive gifts, pile number 2, which is very hard to do. That is very hard to have the right boundaries around yourself intuitively when you were subject to those situations. It's very hard to overcome like boundary issues. And I feel like this is something you guys have been working on for a while in your life. And it's really heavy sometimes with this 10 of Wands. It's really heavy and it's very deep emotionally, 4 of Cups. And it's not the work that anyone wants to do, you know? It's not the work that everybody tries to avoid that inner type, that really serious, intense inner work. And, you know, this type of stuff, unworthy. Yeah, this Page of Swords, this voice in our head. Now, for those of us that grew up like in abusive households, there is something called like a super ego injunction that tells us, even as adults, will tell us, you're unworthy, you're not good at things, you shouldn't have any confidence in yourself. Why do you think you can do this? You're not good enough for this. They would never accept you to that program. They would never, you know, this type of stuff where we've had somebody negatively pushing us down and telling us negative things, where we start to feel really unworthy. Okay, and I do feel some of you have been dealing with this worthiness aspect. And with the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, it may be really hard to ask for help as well, because you were taught you have to do everything yourself. And, you know, this unworthiness, think deeply and ask yourself why you're not worthy of the situation at hand. Okay? Think deeply and ask yourself, why are you not worthy of the situation at hand? Okay? And these are some really important, serious soul lessons that you guys have been working on for a long time, with a sense of, and at this point, it's not necessarily an outer enemy. It's an enemy that we kind of get within when we start telling ourselves negative things about our own selves, okay? And here we have whale and communication. It is important to speak your truth with emotion, vulnerability, and power. Yeah, you are encouraged to communicate clearly from your heart. Work on the heart chakra, okay? And maybe that is very hard for you because sometimes you just shut down and you don't know what to say. And you become very quiet and reserved and silent. And maybe growing up you were spoken over or talking to like your opinion didn't matter, or people were constantly interrupting you all the time, or you felt like nobody would ever listen to you, okay? And whale energy is like very, like, there's some of the most intelligent creatures in the world, and they've been around forever, okay? And whales have special ways of communicating with each other, okay? And maybe because of, you know, maybe sometimes you guys do have a tendency to kind of shut down when your feelings are hurt, or you've got this tendency to kind of, with the Four of Cups and this Capricorn energy, to kind of like shut down and go really silent within. And I feel you guys have been working really hard with staying present with your emotions and working through your emotions, and then communicating your feelings from the heart. Like, it's been hard because I feel like some of you grew up with that energy like really suppressed. We have here brilliance. You discover your own genius by breaking away from the grind. Wow. And you know, the Knight of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, man, that is a grind. That will grind a person out. You discover your own genius by breaking away from the grind to follow your own inspiration. Your ideas bring recognition, okay? And your ideas, Page of Swords, bring recognition, but perhaps maybe it was like, no, I can't really talk or say what's on my mind. I just kind of hold everything within. But I actually think, like, you know, you guys really have a lot of amazing ideas, but in order to access those ideas, you kind of have to break away from the grind, all right, and get into that intuitive, clairvoyant side. We have education. You may need to take a class or do research to find a better position, or you may find yourself writing a book or teaching others, okay? And this is where we embark on the long path towards self-improvement, even if it's just a little by little bit at a time, okay? And maybe somebody made you feel very unworthy when you were younger, like you can't go to school, or you're not very smart, or you'll never succeed, okay? And maybe some of you here, you also put yourself through college and you worked all the way through college, or because of money, you became very overwhelmed and had to quit going to school, but going to school is something you've always wanted to do, okay? And, but there's just been this feeling of, you know, unworthiness that you've been dealing with, and like you're not good enough or you won't make it. But Spirit is saying every challenge that has been put forward to you in your life, you have been so committed and you have been so dedicated and step by step by step by step in what you're doing. And even if it takes a longer time, it doesn't matter. If you're learning, it's worth it, okay? And so education really coming up in your guys' reading. And it's like, yeah, I always wanted to go to school for this thing. Some of you could have had a teacher that was very bad and made you feel like very bad about yourself or very wrong about your thoughts and your ideas. Unplugging from these type of people is so important for you, and working on your own ideas, your own flash of inspiration. Yeah, it may take a longer time to build it, but that's fine. Steady as she goes, pile number 2, okay? We have anticipation. Wow. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you are going to be so celebrated. There's going to be like so many people that are wanting to hear what you have to say. And maybe some of you are going to write a book or teach a class or teach others something. And there's going to be a lot. And you know what? There's such an amazing feeling. And I know this because I used to teach back in the day, pile number 2. Years ago, I used to teach actually college classes a long time ago. And that sense of getting up to the podium in front of everyone and everyone's looking at you and you're starting to talk, or it's such a thrilling experience. And it is so like being able to teach others and educate others or write books and like go and read your writing to other people. Like you write something and then you go and read it at an open mic night or something like that. What a thrilling experience. What a like highly charged, thrilling experience to be able to do something like that. And I feel like there's so much to say, pile number 2, for you to kind of get out. It reminds me of that, for those of you that are old enough, it reminds me of that Dave Matthews Band song called So Much to Say. Open up my head and let me out. So much to say, so much to say. Open up my head and let me out. That is so interesting with the 4 cups and the Page of Swords, okay? And again, steady as she goes, 9 of Pentacles, building 1 brick at a time, 10 of Wands, okay? The anticipation of standing in front of the crowd or reading your thing or getting ready to step up to the podium. What an experience, you know? That's truly an experience. And I feel like this is something that, you know, Spirit is saying with the Whale, when you're up and you're talking and you're telling your story or you're teaching or you're learning, speak from your heart and your ideas flow naturally, okay? And maybe communication has been a challenge for you and you've really had to slow down and think about what you're saying. I know for me, communication's been a major issue for me in my own life, pile number 2. And, you know, slowing down so that I can hear myself think has been a major thing. And that is very much like a Page of Swords, of a need to kind of develop your communication skills and slow down so you can hear yourself think. Oh, wow. We have releasing allegiances right here. Releasing allegiances. And wow, it's interesting because there's like bees all around her, or they've like landed on her skin, but she's not really, and she's protecting herself, but she's not like, it's almost like she's letting the bees just land on her, like she doesn't have any fear. That is crazy, okay? And releasing allegiances to people and situations where you shouldered the burden for too long, or you did way more than your fair share of the work than you even should have had to have done. And the 3 of Swords does really talk about releasing painful allegiances, things that we used to be very dedicated to in the past, but really, really hurt us. Like the ability to write about those situations, to get those feelings out, to write about the pain and the hurt and the struggle instead of keeping everything within and repressing it, like being able to write about it and talk about it. Releasing allegiances, interesting. And we have Mercury and mind. Ooh, I love that. Of course, for education and writing and teaching and getting your story out and being able to share your stories with others and speaking from the heart, talking about what's happened, sharing your story, okay? Opening up your mind to new ways of communication. All right, these are all things that I feel like Spirit is saying once you have completely released this Three of Swords, just so many new ideas, so much new inspiration. Like there's finally going to be room in your head for all the thoughts and ideas that have just been kind of waiting on the side as you work through some of these energies to kind of come flooding in, but in a good way, in a positive way, in a sense of you're ready for it. You're ready for new ideas, brilliant minds, you know, and you guys here, you've got a very brilliant mind. And let me tell you, pile number 2, that is something you should always thank the gods for at the end of the day, because so many people in this world do not know how to think, and they are actually of very low intelligence. And intelligence isn't just book smarts and education, it's also emotional intelligence and maturity. And those are things, emotional intelligence, maturity, and actual intellectual capabilities. You have those 3 things in life and a commitment to what you're doing to uphold the highest standards, you will be successful, okay? Your hard work will pay off. If you've got those 3 things, you're holding a winning hand, pile number 2, okay? And I don't even think I started fully appreciating my mind until I got into my 40s. And I was like, you know, I'm not really like a slouch when it comes to like learning things and mentally. Like I'm actually quite a sharp person, not to toot my own horn, pile number 2. But, but you know, I don't think I realized that my mind when I was younger, that it could be such a powerful tool. And I think it was always there. I just didn't really appreciate it to the level that I have in my 40s. And so, you know, appreciate your mind, appreciate the instincts, the clairvoyance, the maturity, the commitment that you've developed through dealing with these challenges your whole life, and realize that, you know, yeah, you've been in kind of in a cave position or an isolating position, or you've been kind of in a healing position working on your heart chakra, but there are so many new things that are going to come out of this, and a new appreciation for like the brilliance of your mind is quite, and the ideas that you get, it's like, yeah, that is pretty fucking good, okay? So pile number 2, that is what I am getting for you, my friends. I wish you all the very best and all the luck in the world. I felt very relaxed during your reading, so I thank you for that, pile number 2. For those of you, some of you know my story a little bit and the debilitating headaches that I struggle with, and I did feel super relaxed during your reading, and I didn't even feel a headache at all. So thank you, pile number 2, I kind of feel like some of you might have even been sending healing vibes to me during that reading. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, pile number 2. Wish you all the luck, my loves. Let's go ahead and move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the White Daylight Goat Mountains, okay? And your mountains actually have little goats all over around them. And you've got your white snow-capped mountains in the middle of daylight. Okay, so White Daylight Goat Mountains for pile number 3. Of course, goats are a symbol of mountain climbing. They are a symbol of Capricorn and Saturn, okay? And those mountains are nice and bright. Daytime mountains, pile number 3. Let's go ahead, and they talk about like a purity and an innocence, pile number 3. So let's go ahead and get into your reading and see what you are overcoming and what mountain you have been climbing. What mountain is pile number 3 climbing and overcoming? And what is your thoughts on this, Spirit? Okay. Show us the mountain for pile number 3. Easy flow. I love it when I feel relaxed in readings. I don't always feel that way. Happened to me in pile number 2 as well. I was like, God, I feel relaxed. Thank God. All right, there's the star card, pile number 3. Okay. Connecting to something innocent, pure, and true on a deeper level. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the Hierophant. All right, the path of knowledge. I love that. The 10 of Cups, emotional healing, trusting, relaxing, being around people that you can truly relax and be yourself around. We have 5 of Swords, okay? And we have the 9 of Cups. And, you know, it's like maybe something didn't turn out the way that I expected, or maybe it's not the pure dream that I was hoping for, but it's not over for me yet. And there is with this 9 of Cups a sense of freedom and a sense of like, you know, the 9 of Cups is not a step down from the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is lovely, but the 9 of Cups is nice too. But it can be a time in our life when we're on our own and open to whatever comes our way. And we've learned a lot of really good lessons when it comes to like trusting in relationships and opening up. And, you know, the Hierophant is like life is a journey, you know, and the path to knowledge is like a really, really long path. So you might as well like settle in and, you know, enjoy the ride, okay? And the 5 of Swords can be our like negative thinking or our negative thoughts. But I honestly feel like it could also be like skepticism about good things in our life, having negative thoughts, letting other people's opinions of our work or our value kind of affect us, letting other people kind of get in our head, and, you know, like listening too much to like the negative or the gossip, or caring too much about what other people are saying or thinking. To me, this 9 of Cups just feels very freeing. Like, it's like I found the inner worth and the inner value within, and I found what really makes me happy. And I don't care what anyone else has to say about it. I gotta be myself, you know? And the Hierophant and the 10 of Cups is about feeling really secure in the person that you are. Feeling really secure in your relationships, feeling really secure in the person that you are, realizing how much growth you've had and that you're truly fine with being yourself. And it doesn't matter like what other people's opinions or thoughts are on things. You're going to be uniquely yourself. The Star card, okay? And it's like with the 5 of Swords, I stopped caring what everyone was saying or thinking about me, and my value is coming from within. We have here, work on sacral chakra, okay? For some of you, this is creativity. We have flow. Surrender to the journey and see where it will take you. All right, and this could also be like a sexual awakening here, or working on like, you know, needing to go slow. Like, yeah, I want to be in the flow. And I want to like, you know, be open to new, and I want to be comfortable, but for you guys, you have to be comfortable with whoever you're with. And there's a need to take things slow, and there's a need to be in flow with your creativity and opening yourself up to your creativity. But here's the thing, pile number 3, to be in your creative energy, you need to be in a really grounded space where you're feeling really comfortable with yourself, your sexuality, you're really in tune with your body, you're really in tune with like nature, you're very grounded. Like, you know, getting access to that unlimited creative flow is really easy to do when you're grounded and you're in the moment, okay? And, you know, here's the thing with the 5 of Swords. It's like, yeah, I've had some bad ideas in the past, or I've had some wrong ideas about things, but I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not going to become one of those jaded people that refuses to not believe in miracles or not like fully embrace things in my life just because I've had some bad, you know, moments where maybe my judgment wasn't great about a person or a situation. I was maybe seeing signs and synchronicities that weren't there, and now I don't really trust, you know, and I feel some of you guys went through this already. Like, this is something you've already went through. And I also feel some of you have went through a very skeptical time as well spiritually, where it's like, yeah, I'm getting all these signs and I'm seeing all these things, but it's too much right now and I'm just kind of ignoring it, or I'm very skeptical about it. Or you could have just had people in your life that were very skeptical about your spiritual beliefs, or like your creative work, your spiritual beliefs. Body positivity is another thing I feel with the Hierophant, okay? And I feel like you guys have been seeing signs of your growth and how like much you've changed. I feel we have your growth and how much you've changed. And here's transformation. You are under construction. Embrace change, transformation, 9 of Cups. It's good change though. It's happy change. It's like you're happier, I feel. And some of you could be bonding with someone new or trusting again. And you, in the past, it was really hard for you to connect maybe because you saw the flaws in things very easily. 5 of Swords, you would see like the flaws in everything. I just feel you guys are like acting like much freer than you have in the past, okay? You are under construction. Nothing is off limits, okay? The Star card, nothing is off limits. Everything is possible. Everything is there for you to experience, okay? And some of you may want to, like with this 9 of Cups, you may want to go travel, do things on your own, explore the world, start dressing differently, talking, getting to know different people. It just reminds me of a time in my life where I had something I really wanted to do for myself, and I was like really excited about it, but people kept telling me like, oh, I don't think you should do that, or that's not right, or, you know, this type of thing. Pile number 3, and it had to do with my work and stuff like that. It could be any situation really for you where you hear some negative feedback, and maybe in the past, like that negative everything would be going really, really well, but you'd hear like one negative thing and you take it as a sign that you shouldn't be doing it. But I feel these days, it's not that. You're not, like, you really do believe in yourself and what you want to do. And Spirit is saying, you know, you are under construction. Embrace change. It's okay. Try everything. Do everything. And we have Mars and action, desire, impulses, courage, heat, strength. Okay. And this is also has workouts and competition here. All right. So willpower, working on, maybe some of you are wanting to like work out or stair climb or hike, okay? Or you're wanting to take on like a new creative workout regimen. Or I also feel some of you here want to have a really bomb ass sex life is also what I feel. Like, you know, you want to be totally open with yourself. You want to be totally with the right partner, 10 of Cups, of course. Like, but you want to be in the flow. You want to be open to exploring, into action, into feeling sensual, into feeling sexy, into feeling inspired, like all this kind of energy. It's like, yeah. And I feel you guys are like, I want a healthy, grounded sexual connection with someone where I can really be myself with them, and I can really like explore, and we can be passionate, and we can like play, and we can just get really excited and thirsty for one another and all this kind of stuff, okay? And so I feel like overcoming any fears about that or having that in your life is something that, because maybe you haven't always, with the Five of Swords, maybe you haven't always had the best attitude when it comes to things like that. Or maybe it's been really hard to believe that you could have that for yourself. But I honestly feel like for those of you wanting to open up sexually, and also for those of you that want to take more control of your sex life, like you want to, like, this is what I want. This is like asking for what you want, asking for what you need, you know, really like laughing and having a good time and opening up, and not being afraid to ask for what you want and what you need in that way. It's like, let's get the creative juices flowing, right? Pile number 3. And I feel like you guys, it's like, yeah, you are, if in the past you held back because you didn't think it was a good idea, or you heard bad things about something, or people would just tell you that's not a good idea. It's like, I feel like you're letting other people influence your own opinions about yourself and things in life way less than you ever did in the past. And you're just like, I don't care anymore. And even just this whole thing of not dressing the way you want to dress, or not looking the way, you're not being comfortable in your body or in your skin. I feel like you guys are like, fuck it. Like, I might not be perfect, but I'm a work in progress, and I'm happy with where I'm at and who I am. And for some of you, it's overcoming shyness, or overcoming shyness about asking what you want sexually, or allowing someone to take care of you that way. Okay, these are all things that I feel like Spirit's like, enjoy the process. You are opening up to new things. We have superficial. Yeah, and this is where in the past, maybe you were being very superficial about your connections, or you're like, they have to have this and they have to have that. And today it's more about like feeling comfortable with a partner. It's more about, it's not so much about outward appearances. It's more about like who someone is and what they're like versus superficial shit, okay? And if you were given negative messages, Five of Swords, about like your body image, you know, that type of thing in the past, and superficial, you know, there's always a lot of emphasis on superficial appearances, okay? This world has a lot of negative messaging, Five of Swords, about like personal appearance and superficialness, okay? And it's like, once we kind of like let go of that and we're just comfortable in our own skin, it makes it so much easier to connect. And it says superficial, like you or someone else caring too much about outward appearances. Start with your inner work, Hierophant, okay? Your value, your self-esteem, and your personality. And then surrender to the flow of the journey of feelings and opening up, and see where it takes you, okay? And there's a lot of negative messages or skepticism, or there's a lot of negative attitudes out there, all right? And sometimes if we see something over and over again, we think it's true for us or it's going to be true for us forever. And that isn't the case in life. As you like get older, you realize you could be walking down the road one day thinking, oh, I swore this off, or I swore that off. And you walk down the road one day and it's like, whoa, all of a sudden, like, here it comes, you know? And it's not about superficial appearances. It's about personality, self-esteem. It's about feeling good about yourself, like sexually, okay, is what I'm seeing here. And feeling really positive, like sex positive about your life. And like I can ask for what I want, and I'm excited about something again. And instead of all the negative messaging, we have beaver. Oh my God, this beaver has come up so many times. And yeah, it's talking about balance between like work and play and having fun and being in the flow and not caring what you look like while you're doing it, right? Because we can get real caught up in it's hard, right? It's so hard with the negative messages that we get to just let go in the moment and be free, okay? And I feel it's interesting that we got Beaver and the Five of Swords here, because there's so many negative messages about women and women's bodies that are in like the media, and it can be really hard for people to feel good about themselves and ask for what they want. And you know, in sexual, like, I don't know why I'm bringing up so much like sexual experiences, but in this reading, but we want to have a flow and a balance in what we're doing, right? Like, you do this to me, I do this to you, we all do things, you know, this type of thing. We want to see a balance with things, and that balance must be maintained for overall wholeness and success, okay? And maybe some of you work really hard, and you have a lot of responsibility, or you work very hard, but there's also this side of you that needs to be like sensual and kiss and make out and be free and travel and wear clothes that feel good on your skin, and, you know, do like wear lotions and fragrances that really make you feel good, or none at all if you don't like them. Like, you know, this type of thing. Like there has to be this side of life too. We can't just work all the time and be in a bad mood all the time. Like, we need time to really like be free and explore life. We have expression. You need work that lets you express your creative self. You could do well at writing, blogging, or a career in communication. All right. And, you know, the thing is that there are a lot of like negative podcasts, negative like things out there. And, you know, we can focus on that or dump a lot of energy into that, or we can just like start being ourselves and putting out things that represent us or that are happy and joyful for where we are in our lives right now. And, you know, so for some of you, this could be about your work as well, where you put up with environments for a long time that were like very stressful, tension-filled, backstabbing, superficial. Okay. And it's like, yeah, I don't really want any part of that. I also feel some of you want to, like if you live with your family, you want to move out, or you want to have your own place, or you want to be able to do your own thing. And for those of you that are in that position where you're like, these people are very negative. Some of you may have family members that are like very negative, like mothers that are very negative, or just family members that are very, very negative all the time. And it's like, you know, and I feel like, you know, your creativity right now is under construction, but it's a cool kind of construction, because it's not like, you know, the thing is, in the other two piles were like, okay, we are really having to trudge up this mountain and it's taking a lot. I feel like for you guys, it's more about just being free and having fun with yourself and being in the flow in the moment, trusting the process and not falling for superficial things and not doing work that's superficial, that only like scratches the surface of something, but instead something that really allows you to express your creative energy. And we've got the sacral chakra here. So Spirit really telling you, like, it's okay to let loose. It's okay to relax a little bit. It's okay to have some fun. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to be naughty. Okay, pile number 3, be naughty. All right. We have make it work. You have all the tools you need to succeed, but you have to put in the effort. You excel at working with your hands and fixing problems. Okay, 1 second, pile number 3. Sorry, my lovelies. My boyfriend just got home, so I had to close the door to my office room. So here I am, pile number 3. I am back. But this says, make it work. You have all the tools you need to succeed, but you have to put in the effort. You excel at working with your hands and fixing problems, okay? And maybe there's some new hobbies or new things that would be really exciting or interesting. Basically, it's saying you have all the tools that you need already. And if it's just like negative messages of other people, superficial issues, kind of like holding you back, you have literally all the tools that you need to make it work. So, I mean, I feel like for you guys, the mountain may not even be all that. Oh, here it is. We have grief. Okay, this is where I feel like this has been where the energy has been. Okay, I get it now, because I'm like, there is some grief here. And we have diving for light. Wow, I love that. You guys have the daytime mountain, diving for light. Yeah, trying to find your happy, trying to find your joy again. And, you know, that's like, because I was getting all these like really positive cards. So I'm like, wow. And 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, like, how easy are the 9 of Cups and 10 of Cups? They're really easy. But sometimes, like, when our mindset is still struggling, like with the 5 of Swords, then that can be where we're, you know, having issues like doubts, not believing in ourselves, you know, people judging us, stuff like that. So I get that with the 5 of Swords, but I also think some of you could have been really going through grief and pain of losing someone or losing something important in your life, okay? And you know what? Sometimes climbing the mountain is just learning to be at peace and be happy and let ourselves be happy and experience joy again. When there's so many reasons, 5 of Swords in the world, not to let ourselves have that experience, right? Of relaxing and enjoying and pleasure. Like, there's a, you know, taking action towards things that are pleasurable and things that make us smile and make us feel relaxed and happy. Like, that could be like the hardest thing for you guys, could be like letting go of the negative thoughts or the grieving or the pain. But it is about like diving for light or diving deeper. And I love the seahorses here. Seahorses are really cool, but you know, even through like sadness or pain or grief, still finding the light within. And I feel like that is something that Spirit is really highlighting for you guys. Like, sometimes it can feel really hard to be ourselves and be happy again when we've gone through deep grief, okay? And sometimes just finding the light or finding the joy after that is like a huge thing that we are overcoming. And finding the lighter parts of life again after going through deep grief is something. And you know, sometimes we keep things very superficial and light and easy, because thinking about like something painful, the 5 of Swords, is really hard. Okay, but I feel like a lot of you keep seeing signs and synchronicities about a situation, especially for those of you that have lost someone, like you've lost someone due to death, or like a family member or someone that you really cared about, finding like inner peace and inner happiness. Also too, some people, like, you would be surprised because some people, when they're grieving, having a safe place sexually to let go of some feelings in a sexual way can be very helpful for people. Even when they're grieving, like, you know, if it's done in the right way with someone you trust and care about and all of that, right? But because you wouldn't want to, but sometimes, like, when people are grieving, they turn to that to relieve some of the pressure, okay, and to let go a little bit. And but trying to find the good in the sadness, in the grief, okay, is something that I feel like you guys are really, you guys are doing a really good job, though. I feel, pile number 3, you're doing a good job at this, and it's a work in progress. You are under construction. Embrace change. Okay, this transformation card right here. So embrace it, right? But it's happy change, it's good change, it's moving in the right direction. Just like allowing yourself to be happy and excited about something again is hard to do sometimes. Yeah. Oh, yep. We have Yad and destiny, okay? And part of your destiny in life is your expressing yourself creatively, artistically. Okay, writing, blogging, a career in communication. Some of you have a really big, beautiful, bold destiny that is like your calling here, okay? And, you know, believing in a dream, that is very much like the star card, all right? And having a special connection to the universe, to aliens, to all kinds of stuff. File number 3. That's what I'm going to say about that star card there. All right. But diving for light in the most sad situations. Okay. Some of you have had to, like, you've had to just make it work and press on, even though and find the good, even though a situation was really painful. Okay. And, you know, and dealing with your grief, I feel like it's something you guys know you need to do, but perhaps you've been trying to keep it light and keep it in the creative flow, but yet you know that there is some grief to deal with, but processing that grief creatively is part of your destiny. Okay, pile number 3. So that is what I am getting for you, my friends. I hope that reading resonated for you, pile number 3, and I wish you the very best, my darlings. Take care.